Quick note here at the start, because I'm too lazy to re-record the intro. This week's Hall of Illusion is Verence and Marta, but it's not going to say that right about now. One of the most useful things you can do every week is finish your Hall of Illusion, especially on Nightmare, for a few reasons. There are lower difficulties, but in Nightmare, you're guaranteed a second set of runes. Additionally, you get the 5% chance of one of these high-tier accessories. That does mean only once every about 6 weeks on average will you get one, but it is still very much worth doing to try to get that. And so with that, and all of the new players coming on board from several sources, I thought I would help make a updated guide for beating each Hall of Illusion. With that, I'm going with a very common class so that everybody can kind of relate as to what to do. I'm doing an Invocator. This is my alternate character, so I don't really have good stuff, and I don't main Invocator at all. I have the Foci Staff, which is a tier 2. It is good because of the species damage boost, but otherwise it's nothing too terribly special. And I have the Healer Wand, because I do play healer here and there, just to fill a slot in dungeons. So my weapons aren't great. My armor set's nothing special. I do have a heroic helmet, but only level 8. Hellfire Cloak, 2-piece Brute. I'll pause on these for a second if you want to see traits or whatever. I have 2-piece Imperial, because like I said, I don't main Invocator, and this is the right set for what I do main, which is Eradicator, actually. And then I just have a generic, well, not generic, but a Nebula necklace, but tier 2. A generic tank bracelet. I do have 2 really good rings from the Hall of Illusion. Band of Brutal Agony, which actually that one might have came from the guild. And then Ring of Fractured Growth. So I do have a really good ring. Teardrops, which is a very common drop in an open dungeon. And just my Path of Ascension belt. So nothing special here. As for my weapon mastery, my staff is level 190 or 191. This is how I have it set up. The most important pieces for new players who don't know Invocator very well, Mana Ball Salvo is very important. Other than that, everything else is kind of just nice. This one's very nice. This one's useless. This one's very nice, along with the species damage boost to power it up or to activate it. This one helps a lot. And then your mana regen, because mana is always an issue. And then your power surge for max damage. And then every weapon has most of them have 2 nodes that give you an extra attribute point. This one gives you wisdom, and this one gives you strength. On the wand, it's only 150. You've got these 2 that are very important. Corrupting Hit, that's very important. And you can actually get away with not using this one and only using this if you know it's night. But I believe Hall of Illusion, it counts as day. I'm not certain, so I just use both active. You need self-healing, so I don't have this active now. Your other option, if your weapon doesn't have self-healing, is the Void Stalker tier 2 set. With that, you can get a lot of self-healing. Then the other things here on the wand, this is really important, this is really important, and this one's kind of crucial. You really need to have this one with the wand on Invocator to do damage. And then everything else is just kind of there. But of course you can pause and copy these. I do have more overall weapon mastery skill than you might have if you're a newer player, in which case you would just take the 4 that you can get for the combat power. This one of course helps a lot for attribute points, and the poison helps with Curse Explosion. So that's my build, nothing special. You should be able to get to its damage output fairly quickly. Your Path of Ascension probably isn't as powerful as this, but as you build up towards your best in slot stuff, you very well could get there. So with that, let's jump into this week's Hall of Illusion. This week's Hall of Illusion is Verence and Marta. And one special thing about this Hall of Illusion is that the species of both is the same. So you can use species damage food without having to swap or do anything special there. As for skills, you don't need anything special, so I just have a normal, generic skill or attack skill bar here. So with that, let's jump into it. Alright, for this first fight, you just want to take the health. This boss isn't particularly complex by any means. He's going to put a debuff on you. Let me go ahead and start it here. Right at the beginning, this little debuff that does damage, but you'll also see this circle around your character.
If you touch flowers with that circle, they're going to turn into these massive damage rings. And so ideally, you want to touch as few flowers as possible, or at least stay out of the range of their damage. At random times, you're going to get these flowers that are green. You want to touch those to clear the stacks. And you'll see that I have 3 stacks on me right here. Oh, I was trying to get to that one, but I couldn't. So just stand where there aren't any flowers and do your full attacks. And touch the green flowers. Here is really important. When he says rise up, there's going to be those 3 rings. They're not green. 2 of them will be red. You want to try to avoid them, but the blue one's going to push you up really high. I need some health here because I'm taking a lot of damage, actually. There we go. I'm going to do that again, but otherwise just kind of, you can just stand still as long as you're not touching any flowers and just go to town. Depending on your gear, you can take these or block them, whichever. This is definitely one of the simplest boss fights overall. I'm in a flower, so I'm going to go to a safe spot and just attack from here. Get to the next spot where there's rings. And I'm not, like, really paying attention to this. I ended up getting sick this week, so I'm only half awake here. So, sorry for the bad play, but like I said, this one's super simple. Okay, so if you're already moving, you'll get those 2 red, and there's a blue. Those red ones can hurt you a lot if you're not geared well enough. So if you keep moving when he's doing those circles, then you can avoid the 2 red ones and just take the blue one. However, if you are geared enough, you can just... Ooh, I'm really taking damage here. There we go. What was I saying? So if you're moving, the red ones you can just avoid and then hit the blue one, knock you up into the air. Wait for him to do his biggest AoE wipe mechanic attack, and then land and just keep going to town on him here. Oh, I missed it. That's okay. So yeah, that is all there is to this fight. Let's just see if I can finish this real quick. Cool. And that's that fight. For the most part, when I actually do this, I tend to just stand still. I might move around a little bit to clear some flowers, depending on how geared I was at the time. But let's move on to the next floor. Okay, for this floor, go ahead and take the health. It's another mini boss, but they don't have too much health, but they are going to spawn a lot of ads throughout the fight. I've never actually figured out the mechanics for this, if there really even is much. So you just kind of go ham on this mini boss here, and you're probably going to be okay. Yeah, so there's the ads, so I'm just going to try to walk around and avoid them. Keep attacking the boss here. Oh yeah, avoid the poison, that's a thing. It's amazing how much slower this is when you've got the right gear and how much more damage you do, because normally that fight's over before then. But yeah, just focus on the boss, keep moving around so the ads don't get to you, and avoid the poison on the ground. I know at some point he teleports. I don't know what the trigger is, but like I said, I normally kill him quicker. Just my Invocator build is just for familiarity with more players. So let's move on to the next floor. Okay, for this floor, Marta, take the health. Okay. The biggest thing with this guy is he's going to be putting stacks on you, and you want to try to avoid that best you can. So let's start here. And the reason you avoid the stacks is because if you don't, then later he can wipe you pretty easily. I'm going to do some damage. Whoops. Anyone who plays Invocator. Okay, right there. He will fear you if you get hit by that. Oh, I missed that. Okay, so now I've got 2 stacks on me. I'm going to go ahead and switch it back over to mouse so you can see. Cursed Wound. He will fear you there, but these stacks, the more you have, the more likely he is to kill you during his wipe mechanic. So you want to avoid his attacks the best you can. Nope, I missed that one. Go ahead and get some real damage on him here. Get him to do his phase here. Right here. Okay, cool. So he's going to... How call forth wolves. The 2 you want to kill, the 2 with the yellow skill bar, or a health bar, not skill bar. So there's that one, then one over here. Kill those 2. That'll help clear stacks, and then focus on the ads. Because these guys can be very dangerous pretty quickly. Oh, I missed that. But killing those 2 with the yellow health bar is kind of crucial, so focus on them first. And then here, if you have any AoE, I really don't, but take out these little wolves. There we go. Let's take care of that one. And oh, okay, so here everything's gonna go white. You want to be moving around because he's gonna do, and sometimes it's hard to time these, he's gonna do 3 wrath attacks here. Sometimes they're fast, sometimes they're slow, so it's hard to get. Oh, I'm gonna miss that one. Then he's gonna fear you. And here I am really hurting, so I need to get unstunned and do some damage here. Oh, I got feared. Oh, I didn't have my curses on him when I attacked. There we go. And that's the whole fight. So you just try to avoid his damage. Mainly the fear is kind of dangerous because it can really set you off depending on where your debuff duration is. But see, I'm at 10 stacks, so if he gets to his next white mechanic here, it could be very dangerous. But if I kill enough wolves, I'll clear enough stacks. There we go. So he's gonna howl. So I'm at 10 stacks, so I want to kill these wolves with the yellow health bar. Ignore the rest and just try to avoid them. Now I'm down to 8. I can kill more of these. But yeah, just kill wolves to clear stacks, and you should be okay on his white mechanic. So it's nothing too terribly special. So overall, I think this is the easiest Hall of Illusion. It was the first one that I was able to do on Nightmare when I was still gearing up, because you just kind of keep attacking and get your dodge attacks. Oh, I missed that one. That's gonna suck. Oh, actually, that worked out. And I'm already back up to 10 stacks here. Oh, I don't have my curse on him. There we go. Oh, he's about dead anyway, so. Yeah, hopefully this is helpful. This is my greatest tutorial. I'm kind of sick, and this one's super simple, but that's it. And this week on the first one, I got the staff.